लाज़मी है कि तुम मुझसे पर्दा करो। अपनी शादी के दिन अब नहीं दूर है, मैं भी तड़पा करूं, तुम भी तड़पा करो। मुश्किल है ये मेरा दिल है, बड़ी मुश्किल है ये मेरा दिल है। तुम ही कहो कैसे मैं चुप रहूं।
तुम अगर सामने आ भी जाया करो, लाज़मी है कि मैं तुमसे पर्दा करूं।
सताने के मनाने के ये दिन है आजमाने के, जरा समझा करो दिलबर तुम्हें मेरी कसम।
यही मेरी है मजबूरी, सही जाए ना अब दूरी। मेरा क्या हाल है कैसे बताऊं मैं सनम।
ज़मी होगी गगन होगा, तेरा मेरा मिलन होगा। मैं अगर तुमसे नजरें मिलाया करूं, लाज़मी है कि तुम मुझसे पर्दा करो। मैं दुनिया से चला जाऊं, कभी ना लौट के आऊं, करोगी क्या अकेले तुम बताओ दिलरुबा।
मैं रब से छीन लाऊंगी, तुझे अपना बनाऊंगी। चलेगी सांस जब तक ये न होंगे हम जुदा।
न अपनी कसम टूटे, जो रब रूठे तो रब रूठे। मैं अगर तुमको मिलने बुलाया करूं, लाज़मी है कि तुम मुझसे पर्दा करो। अपनी शादी के दिन अब नहीं दूर है, मैं भी तड़पा करूं, तुम भी तड़पा करो।
बड़ी मुश्किल है ये मेरा दिल है, तुम ही कहो कैसे मैं चुप रहूं।
मैं अगर सामने आ भी जाया करूं, लाज़मी है कि तुम मुझसे पर्दा करो। तसव्वुर का आलम, वो दिले आशिकी, वो तसव्वुर का आलम, वो दिले आशिकी, वो दीवाना मौसम, वो तेरी दिल लगी, हमको बड़ा ही करे बेकरार। वो प्यार 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 प्यार,
वो मोहब्बत के दिन, वो घड़ी, वो पलछिन, वो छलकता मौसम, बारिशों की रिमझिम, हमको बड़ा ही करे बेकरार। वो प्यार 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 प्यार,
सांसों की वो हलचल, वो महकता आंचल, बाहों के वो घेरे, जुल्फ का वो बादल, हमको बड़ा ही करे बेकरार। वो प्यार 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 प्यार, वो तेरा शर्माना, वो नजर का झुकना, जाते जाते तेरा वो अचानक मुड़ना, हमको बड़ा ही करे बेकरार। वो प्यार 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 प्यार,
वो मेरे बिन बोले तेरा समझ लेना, वो इशारों से ही बात सब कह देना, हमको बड़ा ही करे बेकरार। वो प्यार 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 प्यार,
वो लड़ाई झगड़े बाद में पछताना, रूठ के वो जाना, लौट के फिर आना, हमको बड़ा ही करे बेकरार। वो प्यार 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 प्यार, वो तसव्वुर का आलम, वो दिले आशिकी, वो दीवाना मौसम, वो तेरी दिल लगी, हमको बड़ा ही करे बेकरार। वो प्यार 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 प्यार, वो प्यार 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 प्यार, वो प्यार 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 प्यार,
मुझसे मोहब्बत का इजहार करता, मुझसे मोहब्बत का इजहार करता, मुझसे मोहब्बत का इजहार करता, काश कोई लड़का मुझे प्यार करता, काश कोई लड़का मुझे प्यार करता।
मुझसे मोहब्बत का इजहार करती, मुझसे मोहब्बत का इजहार करती,
काश कोई लड़की मुझे प्यार करती, काश कोई लड़की मुझे प्यार करती। मुझसे मोहब्बत का इजहार करती, मुझसे मोहब्बत का इजहार करती। काश कोई लड़की मुझे प्यार करती, काश कोई लड़की मुझे प्यार करती। वो बेचैन होती, मैं बेताब होता, निगाहों में उसकी मेरा ख्वाब होता। वो बेचैन होती, मैं बेताब होता, निगाहों में उसकी मेरा ख्वाब होता। शर्मा के वो लगती गले, रखता उसे पलकों तले, चोरी चोरी वो मेरा दीदार करती, चोरी चोरी वो मेरा दीदार करती। काश कोई लड़की मुझे प्यार करती, काश कोई लड़की मुझे प्यार करती।
मुझसे मोहब्बत का इजहार करता, मुझसे मोहब्बत का इजहार करता। काश कोई लड़का मुझे प्यार करता, काश कोई लड़का मुझे प्यार करता।
जो भी कसमें खाई थी हमने, वादा किया था जो मिलके, तूने ही जीवन में लाया था मेरे सवेरा। क्या तुम्हें याद है, क्या तुम्हें याद है, क्या तुम्हें याद है? खुश नसीब थी, तूने ही जीवन में लाया था मेरे सवेरा। क्या तुम्हें याद है, क्या तुम्हें याद है, क्या तुम्हें याद है? जागे जागे रहते थे, खोए खोए रहते थे, करते थे प्यार की बातें। कभी तन्हाई में कभी पुरवाई में होती थी रोज मुलाकातें। तेरी इन बाहों में, तेरी पनाहों में मैंने हर लम्हा गुजारा। तेरे इस चेहरे को, चांद सुनहरे को मैंने तो जिगर में उतारा। कितने तेरे करीब था, मैं तो तेरा नसीब था। होठों पे रहता था हर वक्त बस नाम तेरा। क्या तुम्हें याद है? जो मिलके
तूने ही जीवन मिलाया था मेरे सवेरा।
क्या तुम्हें याद है?
हाँ मुझे याद है,
हाँ मुझे याद है। चोरी नहीं की है।
चैन ले लिया मैंने बेकरार करके, बेकरार करके, बेकरार करके दिल लगा लिया मैंने तुमसे प्यार करके, तुमसे प्यार करके, तुमसे प्यार करके। बीच सफर में कहीं मेरा साथ छोड़ के, तुझको कसम है नहीं हो जाना दिल तोड़ के।
कैसे मैं बताऊं तुझे कैसा मेरा हाल वे, जीना मरना है सब अब तेरे नाल वे।
तुझको पा लिया तेरा इंतजार करके, इंतजार करके, इंतजार करके दिल लगा लिया मैंने तुमसे प्यार करके, तुमसे प्यार करके, तुमसे प्यार करके।
चुका हूँ, तू मेरी हो चुकी है, तू मेरी नजरों में दीवानी खो चुकी है। कर ले मेरा यकीन, दीवाना मैं दीवाना, मैं तेरा हूँ दीवाना। मुझे है तुमसे प्यार।
करके मुझसे आशिकी बदल ना जाना तुम कभी, कसम दो मुझको यार।
हे हाँ,
यूं हंसा के फिर रुला तो न दोगे तुम, दिल लगाने की सजा तो न दोगे तुम।
मैं तेरा हो चुका हूँ, तू मेरी हो चुकी है, तू मेरी नजरों में दीवानी खो चुकी है। कर ले मेरा यकीन, दीवाना मैं दीवाना, मैं तेरा हूँ दीवाना, दीवाना मैं दीवाना, मैं तेरा हूँ दीवाना। है दिल में तेरी धड़कने, लबों पे तेरा नाम है, तू मेरी प्यास है।
तेरे दामन से छूट के बिखर ना जाऊं टूट के, तू मेरी आस है।
हे हाँ,
मेरी दुनिया को मिटा तो न दोगे तुम, दिल लगाने की सजा तो न दोगे तुम।
मैं तेरा हो चुका हूँ, तू मेरी हो चुकी है, तू मेरी नजरों में दीवानी खो चुकी है। कर ले मेरा यकीन, दीवाना मैं दीवाना, मैं तेरा हूँ दीवाना, दीवाना मैं दीवाना, मैं तेरा हूँ दीवाना। हमसे मिला करो, हमसे मिला करो। कोई शिकवा अगर हो और शिकायत अगर हो, हमसे गिला करो, पर तुम मिला करो। जा मैंने भी प्यार किया है, हाँ मैंने भी प्यार किया है।
हम प्यार है तुम्हारे, दिलदार है तुम्हारे, हमसे मिला करो, हमसे मिला करो।
There's a friend for little children above the bright blue skies, a friend who never changes, whose love shall never die. Unlike our friends by nature, who change with changing years, this friend is always with us. His name is God alone.
कैसे मैं भुला दूँ वो बीते हुए पल, हर लम्हा सताए वो गुजरा हुआ कल।
कैसे मैं बताऊं ये मुश्किल राज है, कल आए ना कभी, जो है वो आज है। मेरी जान पास आके बोल दो मुस्कुरा के, चुप न रहा करो, चुप न रहा करो। कोई शिकवा अगर हो और शिकायत अगर हो, हमसे गिला करो, पर तुम मिला करो। फूलों की वादियाँ, बर्फीले रास्ते, है जाने तमन्ना सब तेरे वास्ते।
फूलों में है चुभन, सर्दी में अगन है, सांसों में रात दिन, ये कैसी जलन है।
हे 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 हे, हाँ हाँ हाँ, हे 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 हे। सर्द ठंडी हवाएं कह रही हैं फिजाएं, यूं न जला करो, यूं न जला करो। कोई शिकवा अगर हो और शिकायत अगर हो, हमसे गिला करो, पर तुम मिला करो। हम प्यार हैं तुम्हारे, दिलदार हैं तुम्हारे, हमसे मिला करो, हमसे मिला करो। कोई शिकवा अगर हो और शिकायत अगर हो, हमसे गिला करो पर तुम मिला करो। हाँ मैंने भी प्यार किया है।
जो भी छुपाया था इस दिल में मैंने तुझको बताया।
राज़े मोहब्बत मैंने भी तुझसे कभी ना छुपाया।
कैसी होती है लगी मुझको तो बता। होश मांगू ना खुमार मांगू, होश मांगू ना खुमार मांगू, मैं तो सनम तेरा प्यार मांगू।
फूल मांगो ना बहार मांगो,
चैन मांगू ना करार मांगू, मैं तो सनम तेरा प्यार मांगू।
फूल मांगो ना बहार मांगो। हरदम चाहे इतना मुझे होगा ना ऐसा दीवाना
तेरे लिए।
Hi, so this is a case of total thyroidectomy. So this was a 35-year-old female who presented to us with swelling in front of neck. We had investigated her on ultrasound. It was a category 4 lesion, that is Thyroid's 4 lesion. So it was suspicious for malignancy. We did get an FNAC and it showed a Bethesda category 5 lesion. So we opted to do a total thyroidectomy for this patient. So the first step is basically to raise the superior and inferior flaps. These flaps are raised in subplatysmal planes. So as you can see, these planes are avascular. So first of all, we divide the platysma. We come across the anterior jugular veins, and so staying immediately above the veins, we develop the superior and inferior flaps. So superior flap is raised till the thyroid cartilage, and the inferior flap is raised till the suprasternal notch. So once the superior and inferior flaps are raised, the next step is to identify the median raphe, and you divide the median raphe. So there are a few flimsy adhesions that exist between the thyroid gland itself and the strap muscles. These need to be divided in order to completely mobilize the gland. So there exists an avascular plane between the thyroid gland and the strap muscles. You need to enter this plane in order to lift the gland. There are a few vessels that usually do exist, and these can be easily controlled with the help of diathermy. So the first aim is to actually identify the middle thyroid vein while you're mobilizing the gland away from the strap muscles, because inadvertently injuring this vein can result in torrential bleed, which is difficult to control. So these are a few flimsy adhesions that are present between the strap muscles and the gland itself, which I'm trying to take down. So this was a small vein that was going from the gland directly into the strap muscles. So I'm going to skeletonize it with the help of Leahy's forceps. I'm going to ligate it and divide it. So these are again a few strap muscle fibers that remain on the gland. I'm going to divide them. So this was the middle thyroid vein that I identified, ligated, and now I'm going to divide it. So this results in exposure of the carotid tunnel. So you need to mobilize the gland till the carotid tunnel. As you can see, this is a very avascular plane, and now you can easily lift the gland upwards. And the first step now would be to identify the inferior thyroid artery. So inferior thyroid artery is basically the landmark for identification of the parathyroid glands, because you can trace the terminal branches of the inferior thyroid artery going into the parathyroids, and usually the recurrent laryngeal nerve is in close approximation to this artery as well. It can be running in front of the artery or behind the artery. In my experience, I usually find it behind the artery or in between the tertiary branches of this artery. So this is the inferior thyroid artery. So once the artery is identified, we come across the superior parathyroid as well. You can see the parathyroid is being held with the help of forceps, and the nerve is behind the artery. So there was a small vein that was present at the inferior pole of the gland. I'm going to ligate and divide it. So once the recurrent laryngeal nerve has been identified, I usually draw my attention towards the superior pole of the gland. So over here, I'm going to skeletonize the superior pole, which mainly consists of the superior thyroid artery and vein. I usually remain close to the gland in order to avoid injury to the external branch of the superior laryngeal nerve, because it can affect the pitch of the patient later on, pitch of the voice mainly. And obviously it can result in dysphagia sometimes and aspiration later on. So it's very necessary to preserve this nerve. So there are a few more vessels that are entering the gland. I'm going to ligate those and divide those as well individually. So once the superior pole has been secured, we can easily divide it. Now drawing attention towards the inferior pole, we divide the veins that are mainly present at the inferior pole of the thyroid gland. Once these veins are ligated and divided, we can easily lift the gland off the trachea. So as we know that the nerve is quite far away from the gland, we can easily ligate and divide the inferior pole and mobilize the gland. So this is a small vein that is entering the gland as well. I usually secure these vessels with the help of ligatures, and then I divide them. Few surgeons, they tend to use cautery over here, which is equally acceptable because these are small vessels that can be easily controlled with the help of a diathermy. I usually divide them with the help of ligatures. So over here, I'm trying to lift the gland away from the nerve. So if you trace the nerve mainly enters the larynx at the level of inferior cornu of the thyroid cartilage, and usually it is at that point it gets injured because that is the point where there is a small vessel that is entering the gland. I usually ligate that vessel with the help of ligatures and divide it. So this is the vessel that was entering the gland. So I'm going to ligate it and divide it. So this is mainly the rate limiting step because it is at this point you risk injury to the recurrent laryngeal nerve. So this over here now we have the gland that is adhering to the trachea with the Berry's ligament. So we can easily divide the Berry's ligament with the help of diathermy. It is usually avascular, but sometimes you do come across vessels in the ligament itself. I usually tend to clamp those vessels and then underrun them later on. So over here I have applied the clamps. The Berry's ligament can be divided and you can see the gland can be lifted off the trachea very easily after that. So this was another vessel, not a pyramidal lobe, but this was another vessel that was entering the isthmus. I usually ligate it and I divide it. So this ends the left lobectomy of this patient. We did a total thyroidectomy for this patient. The same steps were repeated on the right side as well. So the closure is mainly done by the residents. In this case, this was done in a continuous fashion with the help of Vital 2.0. So I advocate continuous fashion closure because it is very easy to actually pull out the thread in case there is development of tension hematoma later on, God forbid. I usually do put in a single drain as well that can easily drain both the right and the left side of the trachea. So after closing the midline raphe, the next step is to approximate the platysma. We usually use Vital 2.0 or 3.0 to close to approximate the platysma, and that is followed by the closure of the skin. So skin is mainly closed in subcuticular fashion with the help of Vital Rapid or Prolene 3.0. So in this case, we used Prolene 3.0, and this is the final result. Thank you. Hi, so this video demonstrates the steps of the inguinal hernia repair. So this was a 71-year-old male who presented to us with left-sided direct inguinal hernia. We decided to do an open Liechtenstein's mesh herniaplasty for him. So a transverse skin incision is made in this case while the patient is lying in supine position, and this is deepened down through the superficial Camper's fascia and the deep membranous Scarpa's fascia. So you can see the direct hernia emerging from the superficial inguinal ring. An incision is made through the external oblique epineuritis, and the external oblique epineuritis is divided. So the inferior leaf of the epineuritis is lifted with the help of an artery forceps, and bluntly you can dissect the cord away from the external oblique epineuritis. Medially you can see the external spermatic fascia at the level of superficial ring, which is divided. So again, gently the cord is being dissected away from the external oblique epineuritis, and you can see that the external oblique epineuritis is folding onto itself, forming the inguinal ligament over here. So medially the dissection is done till the pubic tubercle. It's better to dissect 1 or 2 centimeter more medially to the pubic tubercle. So over here you can see that the cremaster muscles are being divided from the transversalis fascia, and you can clearly see the hernia emerging from the posterior wall through the Hasselbalch's triangle. So sharply or bluntly you can dissect away the transversalis fascia from the cremaster muscles, and over here you can see the contents of the cord coming into view. This over here is the vas deferens. So dissection is continued all around the hernial sac so that the defect itself can be delineated. So once this is done, the sac can be invaginated inside, there are a few fibers of the cremaster muscle that are holding the sac from being invaginated inside. So we are going to divide those muscles as well. This would help us lift the cord as well. So one should avoid ripping apart the posterior wall while lifting the cord. So over here you can see that the cord can be lifted. Gently the cord should be lifted. A sling can be made. So excessive traction should be avoided while lifting the cord. So our dissection should be done till the deep ring. So there are a few more fibers of the cremaster muscle and the transversalis fascia. So over here you can see you can simply invaginate the sac inside. So medially the conjoint tendon is sutured down with the transversalis fascia and the inguinal ligament. So I usually prefer to use a non-absorbable polypropylene suture. So that's a 2-0 polypropylene suture. Care must be taken that this repair should not be under tension. However, if you're not reconstructing the posterior wall, there are chances that there can be an impression of a pseudo recurrence afterwards. So all efforts must be made to reconstruct the posterior wall. This would restore the inguinal canal anatomy as well. So the posterior wall reconstruction should be done till the deep ring. So care must be taken that a deep ring should not be tightened to strangulate the spermatic cord. So generally, a little finger should be able to pass through the deep ring. The nerves in this case, the ilioinguinal nerve could not be demonstrated. Usually it's present just under the external oblique epineuroses. So over here, the posterior wall has been reconstructed and the anatomy has been restored of the inguinal canal. Over here, this is the iliohypogastric nerve. You should make sure that you're not ripping away the fascia over it. So over here, we're going to fixate the mesh. So the first stitch should be taken at the level of the pubic tubercle. You should avoid taking this through the periosteum of the pubic tubercle, as it can result in osteitis pubis later on. And second thing that you should be careful about is that there should be a centimeter or two overlap beyond the pubic tubercle. So I usually take continuous sutures with the help of 2-0 polypropylene suture. So the mesh is fixated to the inguinal ligament. So a 7.5 by 15 centimeter mesh can be used, and that can be tailored according to the anatomy of the patient. Over here we're using a 6 by 11 polypropylene mesh. So once you reach the deep ring, you can slit the mesh. So there are two leaves of the mesh, the inferior and the superior. So there are many ways to split the mesh. A few people make a slit inside the mesh. I usually don't do that. So the mesh is sutured to the inguinal ligament beyond the deep ring. So this is followed by reconstruction of the deep ring. The suture is taken from the inferior border of the superior leaf through the transversalis fascia and then through the inferior leaf. Sometimes I do incorporate the inguinal ligament during the reconstruction. So I'm checking the cord again, seeing that I'm not missing out on any indirect sac. So I tend to flatten out the mesh, put in a stitch on the medial side and one stitch superiorly as well, taking care not to incorporate the iliohypogastric nerve in the stitch. So this is followed by approximation of the external oblique epineuritis with the help of number 1 polygalactin suture. So I do it in continuous running fashion. During the step, one should be very careful that the cord is not taken into the stitch. The cord can be pushed down with the help of an artery forceps. So a centimeter or two can be left on the medial aspect to reconstruct the superficial inguinal ring. So after approximation of the external oblique epineuritis, I tend to close the subcutaneous tissue in layers. I approximate the Scarpa's fascia first, trying to obliterate any dead space so that there are less chances of seroma formation. For small hernias, I don't usually put in a drain. For large hernias, I sometimes do put in a Ready-Vac suction drain. So this is followed by approximation of the superficial Camper's fascia. I usually do give a single dose of prophylactic antibiotic as well. Post-operatively, I advise my patients not to lift heavy weights, anything beyond 5 kilos. I ask them not to lift them for at least 3 months. I also ask them to contact me in case of cough, constipation, or any lower urinary tract symptoms. So this is an easy reproducible technique that can be used in elderly patients with lots of comorbidities or patients who are generally not fit for anesthesia. For the rest of the patients, TAP or TEP can be offered. So this is followed by closure of the skin with the help of a 2O polypropylene suture. Thank you.